Hearing that. Supervisor, you do have?
I'm ready to vote.
And that's what your pen
No, I figured I'd better get your attention now for the next item.
Okay. So, call for the vote on this matter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that Sue Matthews be appointed to the Potter Valley Cemetery Board.
Second?
Okay. It's been moved and seconded for Ms. Matthews. Any discussion to the item? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Ms. Matthews is so appointed. Yes. Show that as unanimous vote. Let's see, cleaning up some items here. Done appointments.
We never received a written copy of the Director of Building and Planning report. Was there none? We never received it.
Okay, let's go to...
What is that process? If it's on the agenda for one, shouldn't we have an oral report or a written report?
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to take it up yet. I'd like to take that up after lunch, just before the public hearing.
Just like to report that since he did present one last week, there was a planning item on that agenda as well. He may not have additional business today.
Okay. We do have a couple minutes. How about committees and or supervisor reports? Supervisor Smith.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to make note of a meeting on home foreclosures. This has been coordinated primarily by Ruth Valenzuela from Patty Berg's office, Assemblymember Berg. The meeting will be Monday, August 25th at 10 a.m. at Northern Circle Indian Housing Authority, 694 Pinoleville Drive in Ukiah. This has been something that's been talked about quite a bit in the community. And according to the notes from Berg's office, it says many agencies and organizations suggest that for dependable free advice, contact a HUD-approved advisor. And as far as they've been able to ascertain, the only one in our area directly here is Northern Circle Indian Housing Authority. So they will be conducting a meeting to try to assist residents in legal issues on the home foreclosure issue. It will be a roundtable meeting, and people may be present if they want to come forward with resource ideas and to help address a community solution to this very important issue. So all are encouraged to attend that meeting.
Does that conclude? Okay. Supervisor Delaware.
Mr. Chairman, yourself and I met with the tax sharing committee, which also included the CEO and 2 city council members and city manager of Ukiah. And it was furthering discussions of the proposals of sharing revenues, and we've directed and authorized staff to put some more time into coming back with some recommendations for us at the next meeting. And at this point, you can chime in and add anything that you think is appropriate, or the CEO as well. But it was a good meeting, and I think we're meeting again in a couple weeks, if I remember correctly.
Supervisor Pinch.
When was that committee formed? Was that an ad hoc committee?
Yes.
Yes, it's not. When was that?
Shoot. It's
yeah, it was before
2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's continuing on. Yes. Supervisor Smith.
Thank you very much. On the tax sharing issue, I thought that at some point there was going to be the opportunity to have a public workshop so residents could be able to share their thoughts on it, so the whole board would be able to hear from the city council, the entire city council membership would be able to hear from the board, and we'd be able to sort of vet and explore some of the issues of concern, and that there wasn't necessarily support from the full board as when we previously discussed this. And I thought that at some point there had been a recommendation, or was going to that we were going to be having, before we would ever get a proposal, we'd actually have the opportunity to have discussion in a workshop setting where we could have a comprehensive review of topics and issues, and make sure that city county was fully engaged and we were hearing from the residents. And I still think that that's a good idea and that is something that should take place before we get any type of a proposal. And we actually, I believe, a month or so ago had a workshop slot that was vacated. And, you know, if we're not having enough things to have workshops on, I think that this is certainly one that we had explored, and I thought it was going to go in that direction, that we were going to have a workshop of some sort at some point. So I would recommend that we have that in the near future so we could flush out any areas of concern and issue so we can give appropriate direction to staff to, you know, solve those if there are any areas of concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. I do believe that was a discussion. I don't remember exactly the way you just stated it, but the 2 meetings we've had to date so far has been basically to revive the issue, come up with some maybe changes in thoughts and directions and how money is spent, more than presenting actual product back to either the City Council or this board. So there's more than ample opportunity yet to bring it back, and I appreciate your reminder of that. Supervisor Pinches.
Just real quick, I have a real concern with the tax sharing agreement because, as I've said this many times, I want to know how is it. I've never seen a Ukiah tax dollar spent in Covelo or Laytonville yet, so I want to know what the impacts of, you know, when you're sharing a dollar with somebody else, I want to know who's going to get cut out of the pie completely and how that's going to affect them.
Sure.
So I have some real concerns with that.
And your previous concerns on that matter, Supervisor, have been acknowledged by the ad hoc committee, and this committee certainly doesn't have the power to enact anything without input from the entire board. So requests received. Thank you, Supervisor. To the CEO.
Thank you. I just wanted to reassure the board that the conversations at this point in time are going back in history. We're reviewing our past discussions. There's another proposal that's on the table that our office has brought forward. We're looking more at a regional approach on some of these issues, and it's not at the point where we should be having public discussions on these kinds of things. These are will be eventually, the policy decisions will be made by the full board, but at this point we're exploring numerous opportunities for partnerships, how we can work together to solve each other's problems, and how the tax sharing agreement truly needs to reflect the needs of the entire county, not just a particular city. So I think from my standpoints, the discussions have been very honest, very open. The city manager is there, as I am, as staff, to address the concerns by the parties represented. But I just want to assure the board that we are making progress. We have 3 more meetings scheduled to work out some of these other details.
Thank you. And just to add one point of the discussion, they have been quite frank also, besides open and